The Jesus return to the starting team of Arsenal is 90% loading, and Mikel Arteta has gone ahead to give us another update about his return and what is he all about. Emery Rowe boast, obviously one of those that this Arsenal team has missed this season, because you all know what he brings to the team of Arsenal. And Mikel Arteta hinting about the starting of Trossard in the game Arsenal is playing today against Aston Villa, Thomas Partey, Jorginho, and so much more. And him having his honest say about the manager he replaced at Arsenal after he was sacked. That is Unai Emery. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. Good morning. How are you guys? And where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share. Want to hit 12,000 subscribers, and we can't do this without you. That means that you have to come in and really do the needful and really help us and give us the support that we really need to see to it that we find ourselves into that ilk of 12,000 subscribers. It's match day for Arsenal versus Aston Villa, and the manager or the gaffer of Arsenal has gone ahead and really given us updates as far as the players are really concerned, especially those that are back and those that are really so much away into this game of football, and those that are really nearing return, with Gabriel Jesus being one of those that Arsenal fans have always kept kept asking me about. Now, the gaffer went on to reveal to us about Emery Rowe and Gabriel Jesus. He said, on the fitness of Emery Rowe and Gabriel Jesus, Emery will be training today, and if he's fine, he will be in the squad. Gabi is still not there. So he was confirming to us that Emery Rowe is really one of those that is going to train with the team today, and ever since returned from injury, he has trained a lot with the team of Arsenal. And in the game of City, we first expected him to return in the game of Brentford, but he didn't return. The game of City, we expected him to be part of the squad. He didn't. He was not even present. Reece Nelson surprisingly made the team squad of 20. And obviously this time around, when Arsenal is playing Aston Villa, Emery Rowe is expected to be one of those players that has to come in through. And he comes in, he returns at a very perfect moment that now Mikel Arteta has a person to trust to play in the central midfield in the position of Granit Xhaka, because looks like he's not so much in trust of Fabio Vieira, because Xhaka is really dropping off, we all know, and he needs some time. A player at the age of 30 to be playing at that level, I think he needs to really be rested some games. He should play like 30 minutes. The other game should play like 50 to 60 minutes, and then he's taken off. So I believe Emery Rowe is a huge boost for Arsenal, and I think he's going to travel with Arsenal to see to it that really plays that game of Aston Villa. And I'm 100% sure he's fit. And the moment he makes it to the match squad, that gives Arsenal a little bit of a thick bench. Because if I told you add Emery Rowe on your bench, that means you are having Trossard, who can come off the bench. Emery Rowe can come off the bench. Fabio Vieira, another one who can come off the bench. I think those three attack-minded options are really great for Arsenal, because in the game of City, they only had two attacking options off the bench. Trossard and there is even Reece Nelson and this other guy and Fabio Vieira. So Emery Rowe, one of those that really went ahead to score very many goals for Arsenal last season. If at all, he's really one of those that is doing the needful to be on the bench. That is really a very huge boost, because he's a different player at Arsenal. No player at Arsenal is like Emery Rowe. Let no one lie to you. He's the most direct player Arsenal have got. He shoots from distance. He risks himself a lot. He commits a lot in the final third of the opponent, and he has an eye for goal. That's what makes him different of all those players that are playing at Arsenal. And this is a juncture where Arsenal fans need Emery Rowe to hit the ground running, because in that game of City, if at all you bring him on, you at least expect a moment of magic from him. Season in, season out has shown us that him scoring against big teams, that's part of his DNA. It's his breakfast, lunch, and supper. So Arsenal have been missing him, and I believe there is going to be a very huge turnaround of Arsenal when Emery Rowe returns, Thomas Partey returning, and Gabriel Jesus. I believe those three players, if they can keep fit for the remainder of the season, I think Arsenal are really going to put in a very stretchy lead against City, because I don't see City back until they win close to 5 consecutive games. Then I'll know, all right, this is the City we know, because they're having a test today at Nottingham Forest and they're waiting to see how they're going to go over it. After Emery Smith Rowe, Gabriel Jesus update, I think, according to me and the sources that are reporting to me from London Colney Arsenal, Jesus' knee is really getting used to lifting heavy things. That means he's 10% away from completing the 100% levels of really returning to the group session. And I won't be surprised if at all next week Arteta sits here to tell us the press conference news about Jesus and hints on his return that has joined the team. That's it. But as things stand, he's not part of this game, Arsenal vs Aston Villa, but he's nearing his return. A very, very, very good way that Arsenal are really going to go ahead and really do the needful. And secondly, these blips that Arsenal are really getting, I think they are coming in a very good time. I support Manchester United. I followed Sir Alex Ferguson. And when did he always take over the leaders of the table to win the Premier League? It was around March, April. Those 2 months are really important in the team that's going to win the league. Now, guess who is returning in March, or at the end of February? It's Gabriel Jesus himself. He returns in the month that Arsenal are really in need of him. And Arteta, I believe, he doesn't want to make any mess. He doesn't want to make any mess on him. He wants him to return fully fit, ready to go and do the needful, because we saw what they are missing in the game of City. You get? Arteta just wants to see him return back fit. If Jesus was on the field of play against City, he would have scored a hat-trick and would have created more to destroy City. But Nketiah was really wasteful on the day. And it's not only that game that he wasted lots of chances. Remember the game of Tottenham Hotspur that Arsenal won 2-0 away in London at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. He got 2 keeper to beats and he missed out on them. Do you know why none of the Arsenal fans was vocal about him? It's because they won. These mistakes are always seen when the team doesn't win. In the game of Everton, Saka plays him in. He takes a very beautiful touch in the 6 yards box area of the box of Everton. Instead of really doing a cutback to find Odegaard, and it was Odegaard and Martinelli near the D, he went in for selfish effort and hit that ball in the side net. And on very many occasions, he has gone ahead to do such things, but he has gone away with them because Arsenal have been winning. But this time round, everyone was looking at him because he was not really delivering. And the game of Brentford, he had a chance also to do a cutback again, and his composure never came to his mind. So I believe Arsenal really suffering because of Gabriel Jesus. When he returns and does the needful, I think he's really going to be one of those players that Arsenal fans are really going to be welcoming back in high command. Now, but I believe it's 90% Jesus, 90% loading. I know he's really returning at Arsenal, and it's just 10% of him that has not yet really gone ahead to show us that he's really ready to see to it that he does the needful for the club of Arsenal on his return. Let's go to Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey, he says we have to assess him again today. He has some muscle discomfort and we have to see how he is. Thomas Partey, to me, I believe he should be rested. These fixtures that Arsenal are really playing, I don't know why they're hurrying back Thomas Partey. And if at all I'm Mikel Arteta, I don't hurry him back, because if you're going to play, Aston Villa today, yes, Aston Villa today, then there is a game of, I think, Leicester City. That is Arsenal for you. I see no reason for Arsenal going in all out to bring in Thomas Partey, because when you look at the fixture of Arsenal, after Aston Villa, they are going to play Leicester City away. They don't need Partey in that game. Everton at Emirates, they don't need Partey in that game. Bournemouth at home, they don't need Partey in that game. Fulham away, they don't need Partey in that game. Crystal Palace, they don't need Partey in that game. Arsenal Leeds at Emirates, they don't need Partey in that game. I think the game where they would need Partey a lot is going to be played on the 8th of April when they are playing Liverpool at the Anfield. And Liverpool is trying to pick up. I think that should be the worry. But for Thomas Partey, I think in these other next games, I think they should rest him. They should let him heal fully because Jorginho can take over the mantle to lead Arsenal to where they deserve. And I'm going to be surprised if at all he travels with the team of Arsenal to Birmingham where Aston Villa is. I'm going to be totally surprised because I see no reason for him really going ahead to start that game of football. And it's really going to be a fiasco for Mikel Arteta to force an injured player on the field of play because he missed out on the game of City because Mikel Arteta never rested him for the game of Everton and Birmingham. Yet Jorginho would have come in through and really got the job done. So I believe it's high time he trusted Jorginho to get the job done because to me he was my man of the match as Arsenal lost to Man City by 3-1. Talking about Jorginho, the Arsenal gaffer, Mikel Arteta, was asked about whether he was impressed by Jorginho on Wednesday. He said, he's really good. He's come into the team and earned the respect of everybody. You see his leadership, his understanding of the game, how he's coaching everybody. I think he had a really good game. So the leadership skills in Jorginho are really those that Mikel Arteta is really hinting about. And he's talking about this player being really a leader on the field of play and being understanding. His understanding of the game is really at a different level altogether, and that's why you have to come out and really hail him. And this is where I come out, all Arsenal fans all over the world that are really coming in through and really going in for Jorginho. Guys, did you see what Jorginho played against City? And it was his first full debut for Arsenal, by the way, and second game of him playing for Arsenal. The first game he played 32 minutes away at Everton. Then he starts this game that had a lot of pressure. He never lost the midfield battle, but who let him down? Gabriel Magalhaes, Tomiyasu, and I think who else? Was it Zinchenko who put out a pass that led to the third goal? So for him, each and every time he got that ball, he passed it very well and he never put a foot wrong. He came in through, did the checkmates, he was doing the interceptions, he was everywhere in that midfield, and he's a good passer of the ball. So that is Jorginho for you, and the manager's hinting about how he was impressed for him. And I think he's starting the Everton game. The game of Aston Villa. And I don't see him being overpowered by Kamara and Ming. Is it Douglas Luiz? He's a very good player, though some Arsenal fans are not appreciating him. But at the end of the season, you appreciate Jorginho and how good he is, that it's really a very good player that has really gone ahead to do the needful and really help you out. Now, Leandro Trossard deserves to start the game of football soon. He said he's had an impact every time he's been on the field, so he's an option. That's what Mikel Arteta said. Now, for Leandro Trossard, if I told you watched my match preview, I'm starting Leandro Trossard over Gabriel Martinelli because this is evident. This is evident because when you look at the two players, they are all good players. But who is a better who is a better player to make an instant impact off the bench? To me, I believe it's a player called Martinelli. One, his pace. Remember, he comes in through at the 60th minute of the hour mark. These players are already tired. They are already tired, meaning that he can exploit their tiredness and go past them and sit them down because he's a more direct player. And obviously, it's well known that towards the end of the game, spaces continue to be a variable on the field of play. That's it. And Martinelli thrives a lot where there is space because acting in good space, in tight spaces, he can control the ball and pass it, but it's rare to see him having a ball in tight spaces and really taking on play. It's not like Martin Odegaard. It's not like Trossard. So, for Trossard, I believe the more minutes he spends on the field of play, the more you benefit out of him because the hold-up play will also be great. He does an involvement play. He lets other players get involved in the game of football, and that is a player known as Trossard for you. And I believe he's one of those players that should be into this game of football to play against a side called Aston Villa. Then Martinelli comes in later because Martinelli is dropping off a lot. And I think Trossard is the one to wake him up. And I think the more minutes you give Trossard, the more goals you expect from him, because he has shown us that every time you get him a ball into that 6 yards box area of the opponent, he is really lethal and clinical. That is what the manager talked about, Leandro Trossard, and we might see him make his first start for Arsenal. That is today at Villa Park. Then he talked about facing Unai Emery, a manager that he replaced all his predecessor at Arsenal. He said he will always put up a very difficult test. He's a very good manager, and I have huge respect for what he's done in every club and the success that he had. Obviously, he'll make it hard for them. But I think Aston Villa is also on the drop-off. They've lost their last 3 games in the league. And however much Steven Gerrard was sacked, I think there is a problem that is happening at Aston Villa. How come Steven Gerrard comes in through, you win the first 3, 4, 5 games, and then you drop off? Unai Emery, look at him. The same thing is happening to him. He won the games that he really coached. He even beat Manchester United. He won away, I think, at Wolverhampton Wanderers. Ever since then, he has been losing. He lost to Southampton. He lost to Liverpool. He lost to, is it Leicester City or Liverpool? Then he lost to Manchester City. And that shows you how the team is really losing confidence in winning. So I believe that however much respect has been passed on to him, Mikel Arteta has every weapon to throw at Unai Emery. However much he's a very good manager, but I think the mentality of his players are really not okay. And maybe that new manager bounce has really come to an end. I think that was his yardstick or benchmark on the wins that he got. You get? He has spent 3 games without winning. Arsenal, out of the last 3 games of the Premier League they played, they've lost 2 and drawn 1. This is the game that you need to play right now. However much 2 are wounded animals, and Villa Park is the home of Aston Villa. I believe Arsenal are really having a very good record there. You can't tell me that they're going to play with Ashley Young on the right back, and Martinelli or Trossard can't exploit that grown-up man. You get? Digne. They have to go ahead and really win. They have to win this game of football, and I think Mikel Arteta and his boys are ready to put up a show against a team called Aston Villa. Then he was asked a little bit about the game of City. They lost to City on Wednesday, and he was asked about the big gap is between Arsenal and City. Said, I don't know. In terms of points, we don't know. The feeling I had on the pitch was, in my situations, we managed them, and in many situations, we were better than them. In the boxes, they were far better than us. That's it. And he's really so much on point, because as I told you in my match reaction after that game of Arsenal and City, that Arsenal lost that game of football because they are not clinical. The more clinical team won the game on the day. If Arsenal were more clinical, City never had a chance to win this game of football. You get? Remember the game of Manchester United and Arsenal. Arsenal won it because they were clinical. They are clinical. You get? Nketiah, he got 3 chances. 2 crossed the line. 1 was saved by David De Gea. It was a world-class save. In the game of Manchester City, he gets the same number of chances. He fails to net any in the back of the net. Bukayo Saka was released very well, I think, by Martin Odegaard. He sits down Nathan Ake and fails to shoot at goal. That is Bukayo for you. So, as Arteta stressed it out very well, that the other team was better in their box and Arsenal was worse in its box. As I said, my prediction in my match preview, that if Arsenal goes to Aston Villa and they convert their chances into goals, Aston Villa has no chance. They have no chance to take on a team called Arsenal. Trust me, they have nothing like a chance to take on Arsenal. So guys, your thoughts on Gabriel Jesus update return are welcome in the comment section below. Then Emery Smith Rowe boost. He's up and running, ready to play or take part in the game of Aston Villa. Thomas Partey assessment, according to the news coming in through, it has really gone ahead to fail out, and don't think Thomas Partey is going to be part of that game. And lastly, Trossard starting over Martinelli, your thoughts about it. Then Jorginho praised by Mikel Arteta, and Arteta hinting about the reason as to why they lost to City. City was better in the box of Arsenal, and Arsenal was worse in the box of City. Good morning, good night. See you when the game really is an hour to start. That is 3:45 or 3:30. I'm out.